Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and a lot of people have been asking me for daily, weekly, monthly, what my routine is. So I put together an Excel spreadsheet with everything that I do daily, what I prioritize. I also go over event dailies, weeklies, monthlies, guild weeklies, and we'll also talk about guild monthly a little bit as well. That'll probably be a separate video, but we will talk about just what I think about, what I do, what's in my routine, and what I do every single day. So let's go ahead and dig in. If you do need a copy of this, it will be in my description. If I've forgotten anything, please leave a comment. I'll either pin it or I'll pin a different message talking about what I forgot. I'll also modify this document in any way. But I think we've pretty much captured everything. I'm going to go ahead and go through my reasoning just as I'm doing things in this video, because I think there's a couple things people don't think about when they do their dailies. And, you know, when we don't think, we start having problems. We start missing things. So first off at the top of the list is guild donation. Now, if y'all aren't doing your guild donation, you know, you should be donating every single day. It doesn't matter if it's an almost dead guild. You know, if the guild is coming back, if you're a guild leader, you should be setting the expectation that everybody donates to max every day, because especially if you're wanting to do things like adventure or defense or even just buy aesthetics for your kingdom, you do need these donations. So make sure you're donating every day. Make sure you're checking in. Make sure you're getting that guild EXP for 50 Galder from the shop every day. The first thing I do at reset is I go to the guild kingdom and I do all of this. That's first thing. If it is a weekly, I will pick up the weekly missions as well, but that's down in the weekly section. After that, it's time for the Evermore events, and the Evermore dailies are basically everything that you do in Evermore. So Swift Solutions is the first on the list, and I do refresh up to 24k for rare and premiums. I will spend my Swift Solutions on normals if there's not a rare or premium. You can carry over your Swift Solution tickets to the next day for those that are kind of wondering about that, in case you get really bad luck or maybe you're only rare and premium, right? You can also do Swift Solutions on your alts. Your alts actually have a second population of Swift Solutions, essentially. So if you refresh, it refreshes all of your alts as well. So if you want to farm only rares, or maybe that small percentage chance of getting a ticket, you can do that as well. Conquest missions. If you get bad conquest missions, they do roll over to the next day. Personally, I've kind of jumped around on what I farm for conquest missions. I used to go for the gummies, but now I go for the elemental circles, just because I'm trying to get more weapons plus 21, and so you can get, you know, at least one triangle if you do get the right amount of elemental circles. Power-up missions, really important. I reset them every day with 100 diamonds. Power-up missions are like the familiar, the once-a-day familiar, or the lava tower, right? These things that give you really important materials for awakening your familiars and your equipment. Very valuable, especially now in the beginning stages of the game. If you are wanting to increase your CP, if you do have diamonds, great investment of diamonds into this. I'll check my hatching. Of course, hatching is every 2 hours, but I always tend to do it when I just start out, particularly if I do the power-up mission, because I'm going to have those time acceleration items from that as well. Also, after familiar gifts, checking my familiar gifts, I will have some acceleration items and eggs as well. Familiar gifts, I've always been told to do before familiar adventure. I don't know if that influences the familiar gifts, the amount you get. It seems like nobody in the world understands familiar gifts, but, you know, take it with a grain of salt. I am someone who believes that, you know, the rumor people have told me that if you do familiar adventure before gifts, like, I just believe that. I have no interest in researching it right now, but it is something that I believe, so I do familiar gifts first. Familiar adventure, after that, I do run through both stages. So right now in familiar adventure, I'm farming level 6 monsters whenever I find them. I'll cap out on obsidian and prisms if I have to, but basically anything level 6 I am trying to clear and finish. I will reset it once. I will not reset with diamonds. I think that's bad advice. There's a lot of people who do reset with diamonds, which I think is not a good idea. I also know a lot of people use this to farm territe. I think that's okay if you're really territe starved. But I do think in the long run, you're probably going to want to farm familiars in the long run, just because I think that's going to give you more bang for your buck in terms of familiar adventure. Familiar arena after that, dual yard after that, and then of course crafting any weapons or armor. Try to hit a 4-star pity every other day-ish is my goal. Sometimes I can't hit it, and that's okay, but crafting when you do get to become a higher level becomes so important for increasing your CP and getting triangles in order to get your gear through salvaging 3 stars. It just becomes critical. Some other considerations that I would think as I'm going through the day. I do try to hit 3 field bosses a day. So I usually miss the 7:30 a.m. or the 8 a.m. field boss, our time. World boss 3, because I am on world boss 3 now, can be difficult to plan for. Usually you have to hit the afternoon in order to clear world boss 3. Imagine this will get easier as more people level up. But for faster clears, try to queue up in the evening or the afternoon. Sometimes I find weekends are a lot better. Dimensional border, same, depending on the dimensional border, the high level that you're doing, it can take a lot of time to clear it. I would recommend doing dimensional border right around reset, because a lot of people run their dimensional border right away. Lava Valley, Kingdom event day. So, you know, you want to make sure, is there Lava Valley that day? Is your kingdom doing stuff that day? These are kind of all the things I keep in mind. Chaos field boss, just like I try to show up to 3 field bosses, I do try to show up to 3 chaos field boss events as well. Even though I don't utilize the dark crystals to the maximum of their ability right now, I do think, and I can see the bottleneck of dark crystals in the future, and I am trying to farm as many of them as possible. That's why I think going to chaos field boss, even if you aren't cursing your gear yet, is very important. Hitting up the traveling merchant, of course, ideally, if you could hit up the traveling merchant every 2 hours would be great. But at least, you know, while you're checking in and doing your daily routine, grab those free items from the merchant or those gold items. Probably bottom of the list here would be treasure chest farming, butterfly farming, and forest management. These are like the 3 things that I do when I have nothing else to do. We also have event dailies that I do. So check the daily event box. This is the event box. It's going to be in the upper left-hand corner on your icons menu. A lot of times there's missions in there that are like kind of hidden away. So make sure to check those. You want to do your event mission, which would be like the genie fight right now. You want to do and plan for the once daily special event mission. So that's going to be like the chasing llamas right now. A lot of people don't know about this still. They don't understand that it's an event that happens 1 time per day. It's not a must do, but it does give you some really good gummies right now. Also asking the question, did you hit the token cap? So for field, that's 450. For Evermore, that's 50 right now. And then did you do your reputation gains, right? Because there are reputation quests associated with the genie mission. So while that's not on here, that's something that I try and do every single day right now. We are moving on to the weeklies right now. So we have collecting bounty missions, right? So when you're going into Evermore and you're doing your Evermore stuff, grab your bounty missions, collect your kingdom missions when you're in doing your kingdom stuff. That's an easy 200 Galder when you do fill them out. Kingdom dungeon. So kingdom dungeon, we had a second kingdom dungeon added, and this is one of those things that I actually tested. So you can do both of the kingdom dungeons, and you can reset both of the kingdom dungeons. So this is a really big deal. Essentially, if you do kingdom dungeon times 10, right? So that's going to be a full reset on a single kingdom dungeon. That's 300 Galder, 300,000 gold. So if you do a full reset on both kingdom dungeons, that's 600 Galder and 600k gold per week. Is pretty crazy. So keep that in mind just as you're going through here. That is something we just tested today for this video. Kingdom Defense doesn't give you nearly as much Galder or EXP. I wouldn't worry too much about missing Kingdom Defense. You usually do Kingdom Defense though when you do your Kingdom Dungeon. I'm actually going to change Kingdom Dungeon here to 20 now because you would be doing 20 of them. That also means that I need to... nope, I already accounted for that in my other side. Sorry, I'm checking my spreadsheet. So if you guys don't see on the right-hand side, I have a list of Galder math, which is kind of like what your weekly and monthly Galder income is going to be if you do all of these things. Especially with the 20 Kingdom Dungeon, because I'm trying to figure out kind of the amount of donations you need in order to do 20 Kingdom Dungeons, 4 defenses every single week, and you know, how much Galder you're gonna get from that, how much gold from it. It's a whole thing. It's been a whole thing that I've been working on. It's literally like all this Kingdom stuff's gonna be a separate video, but it is on here. It's something interesting to look at if you do want to look at it, and it's definitely something interesting to consider. You want to check in on your Labyrinth rewards and Prog. That's going to be pretty important. You do get weekly rewards from that. Guild token exchange. So you want to get your mount items for 400 Galder. That's really important. You want to get your Dingo mount items for 400 Galder. That's really important. You want to get your Dark Crystals for 100 Galder is really important. Buying these things weekly is pretty critical. Very similarly with Dominion medals, you do want to make sure you're buying your weeklies. And if you bought out your weekly stuff already for your main class, start looking at buying out for your alternative classes and for your alts. Because, I mean, you know, you're going to have nothing to spend these medals on, and it will give you codex, you know, filled out and stats that way. Purification medals. So for 1,000 medals, you get the emoticon stamp, which can give very good buffs for your character, so you should grab that every single week. Honor medals, so you do want to grab for 250 medals the Crescent Moon auras. These are not used really right now, but they will be important in the future, so you do want to make sure that you grab the Crescent Moon auras for 250 medals every single week. You want to grab the engine oil as well for 1,000 medals every week. Again, if you you don't want to buy the engine oil if you don't have the mount, so keep that in mind. But it is one of those things where if you do buy this, then maybe if you're getting, like, if you're someone out there who's getting hella honor medals for whatever reason, you could even buy the regular mount materials that are in here too. Sprout tokens, so you're going to spend 30 tokens for 2 garden care. You're going to need to gain plus 90 from trading in your veggies. You're going to need to collect your weekly rewards. Money Man chest. So you're going to want to spend 600 vouchers in order to get the chest twice from the Money Man. This gives great rewards for Familiar Adventure. So it gives you 3 tickets for each one. So that's 6 additional Familiar Adventure tickets for the week, which is almost a whole day's worth of Familiar Adventure. And it's good items, so you want to do that. And then also don't forget to purchase your cookies from the shop. Purchase your weekly cookies. I know gold is tight for everybody, but you do want to buy these cookies. There will come a day when you do want them. For monthly, just make sure that you're buying the robot mount from the guild token exchange, especially now that we have the second dungeon. You should be able to, if you follow my math on the right hand side, if you are doing everything and if you're in a top tier guild, be able to buy 2 times robot mount every month until you have it maxed out. You should also be able to buy the flying bot mount every month. Now, honor medals are a little bit harder to come by, but if you are higher rank in Lava Valley, it will be easier for you to get more versions of this. Also, you do have the seasonal Lava Valley reward and the seasonal familiar arena reward. As a guild leader, there are some things that I consider as well. So if you look over here on the right side, assuming everyone donates weekly, so we have 33 members in my guild. Right now, if everyone donated gold, obsidian, and prisms, my guild would be earning 5.7k in terms of gold, or 5.7 million. It would be earning 231,000 in obsidian, and 23,000 in prisms. So keeping that in mind, bidding on a relic war is 8k minimum prisms, and that's on a Friday night, so I do have to keep that in mind. There is aromas that you can put on the auction. So the aromas for 700, so I believe they depend on your kingdom level. We currently have 10, and I can put them for 70k each on the auction. So it's a total of 700,000 kingdom gold to put 10 aromas up, is pretty good. However, with the addition of the second kingdom dungeon right now, I actually can't do that, and I actually can't buy recipes, because if you look at kingdom dungeon, a standard kingdom dungeon times 10, so this would be just one of them, whether it's the earth or the fire, costs 2.98 million kingdom gold, right? So if we're going to be running 20 per week, which we want to do because we want to maximize the guild EXP that our guild is getting, that is almost 6 million kingdom gold per week for Kingdom Dungeon. And we only get, with 33 members, 5.7 million, right? So Kingdom Gold has become extremely important for us as something that I'm managing as a guild leader weekly and monthly, and that's why people get kicked out for not donating maximum. So if you are in a guild, that's how tight the margins are if you forget to donate gold or if you forget to donate anything. So please donate every day. Kingdom Defense is Obsidian. It's not too bad to get 90,000 Obsidian. The problem is Obsidian's kind of used in everything else, so I do kind of plan around that. Anyway, that got a little bit too far into the guild stuff, I think. You know, most of that's on there, the guild stuff. I would definitely encourage you to take a peek at that. It'll be a separate video. But I hope you guys got use out of this video. Again, let me know, and I will talk to you guys next time.